Crash in the crimson fog. Evan Kane couldn't see the sky anymore. His ship had crashed just minutes ago, but it already felt like hours. Red fog covered everything. Thick, heavy. It smelled like burnt metal and wet stone. He tried to stand. Pain shot through his ribs. His left arm wasn't moving right, and his oxygen warning blinked red on his cracked helmet. The ground beneath him was soft and pulsing like muscle. Not dirt, something alive. Not earth, he muttered, coughing blood into his mouthpiece. Not even close. He reached for the emergency beacon on his chest. The signal button was crushed. Silence. No sounds. No wind. No birds. Just that endless, choking red mist, swirling like something breathing around him. Then a soft crunch. His heart jumped. Footsteps, slow, careful. He pulled his sidearm with shaking fingers. A tiny pistol, barely a threat to anything serious. His hand bled, leaving red smears on the grip. Who's there? He shouted. Nothing. Then, from the fog, a shape. Tall, slender, moving like it floated over the ground, glowing faintly blue. It stopped a few meters from him. He raised the gun. Stop! I'm warning you. The figure stepped closer. Now Evan could see her. A woman, not human. Her skin was smooth and pale blue, almost like moonlight. Her eyes were large and bright. Her white hair floated around her like smoke. She raised her hands, slowly showing she had no weapon. You're hurt, she said, her voice calm, like a soft wind. Evan froze. Her lips didn't move. The words echoed inside his head. What are you? He asked, his breath shaky. I am Liara, she said. You crashed on sacred land, but I do not want your death. He tried to stand again. Failed. I don't need help. He growled, even as blood ran down his side. You do, she said, kneeling beside him. If I don't feed you, your body will stop in minutes. Evan blinked. Feed me? She placed her hand gently on his chest. A warm pulse passed through his body. For a moment, the pain lessened. His breathing grew steady. His heart slowed. Her eyes softened. I offer healing, but you must surrender. Completely. His mind screamed no. His training screamed trap. But his body, broken and tired, begged for relief. He shook his head. Why help me? She didn't answer right away. She looked toward the sky, the red mist curling around her like fire. Then she whispered, because I once failed to save someone I loved, I will not fail again. Evan's eyes closed for a second. His memories twisted his brother, the outpost fire, the pain of being too late. Was this how it felt to die? Calm. Empty? The cold returned. His body shivered. He gasped. Liara caught him before he fell. He'll not fight, she said. You cannot win this alone. He looked into her strange, glowing eyes. They weren't cold. They weren't cruel. He opened his mouth. All right. Everything went black. Asterisk. The healing ritual. Evan woke up gasping. He wasn't lying on dirt anymore. He was inside something. Alive. The walls were made of soft, pulsing flesh like the inside of a heart. Light came from glowing vines overhead, giving off a soft blue warmth. He was lying on a thick bed of moss that moved slightly with his breath. His armor was gone. He tried to sit up, but his body still ached. A warm cloth had been wrapped around his chest, glowing faintly at the edges. His left arm was fixed in a soft sling grown from living roots. That's when he saw her. Liara. She sat nearby, cross-legged on a raised root, her skin glowing slightly. She looked calm, almost peaceful, like a goddess in meditation. Evan swallowed. What did you do to me? I kept you alive, she answered without looking at him. But it's not enough. Her voice still echoed in his mind. No sound, Just thought. He frowned. I didn't give permission. You did, she said softly. When you said? All right, that was surrender. Evan tried to stand again, but fell back, groaning. Why does everything still hurt? He hissed. Because you're only halfway healed, she said, finally, opening her eyes. I stopped your bleeding. I cleaned the poison from your veins, but your cells are still broken. He looked down at his chest. Strange patterns glowed faintly under his skin like vines drawn with light. What is this? My mark, she said. The first stage of the ritual. He stared at her. You said you had to feed me. What does that mean? Liara stood and walked closer. It means I must share part of myself. It is not food, you know. That drink you've ever tasted. It is something older. My milk holds life. Healing, but only if you fully accept it. Evan's eyes narrowed. Milk? Like, yes. She nodded slowly. But not as your kind understands. It is created through energy, through emotion, through trust. That is why I warned you. You must surrender first. He looked away, uneasy. Why me? Liara knelt beside him again. Because your body is still open to it. You're between life and death. And because you reminded me of someone I lost. He saw something flicker across her face. Pain, memory, loneliness. Evan sighed. So what happens now? She gently placed a hand over his heart again. Warmth spread through him like sunlight. He felt safe, heavy, like sleep after a long war. You must decide, she whispered. Do you trust me? Even if it feels strange? Even if it changes you? He didn't speak. His thoughts raced. He was a soldier, trained to resist mind games. But this wasn't war. This was something else. Something deeper. He looked into her eyes. They weren't just alien, they were sad. Like someone who'd watched too many people die. He nodded. Just. Once Liara's glow brightened. She leaned closer, her breath warm on his skin. Then close your eyes, Evan Kane, she said. Let me feed you life. The bonding. Evan Kane felt warmth like never before. Not fire. Not heat. Something deeper alive, flowing through him like slow-moving light. He was no longer just lying on the mossy bed. He was floating in a way. His body relaxed, his fear melting. Only his breath remained, slow and deep, like waves on a quiet sea. Liara sat beside him. Her hands hovered over his chest, glowing softly. Her fingertips moved in small, perfect circles, not touching skin, but drawing light from it. Eyes were closed. Her lips moved silently. She was chanting, but there was no sound, just vibration. Like a song heard from inside, a dream. Evan opened his mouth. What are you? Don't speak, she whispered. Let your body remember how to live. Then she placed her hand over his heart. This time, skin to skin. Evan gasped. Images rushed into his mind, not memories of his own, but hers. A green world, full of light and music. Giant trees that breathed mist. Children dancing in glowing rivers. Then fire, screams, black ships falling from the sky. Her people running, burning, dying. Then her, alone, hiding, surviving. Waiting. The bond was forming. You see me now, Liara said softly. Tears slipped from Evan's eyes without him knowing why. Your people were healers? He asked, voice hoarse. She nodded. We fed the sick. We sang to broken bones. We gave milk to the wounded. But war punished kindness. Now I am the last. Evan looked at her, chest rising slowly. Why risk healing me? She leaned close. Because you listened. Because you didn't shoot. Because I am tired of running. Then she opened her robe. Not in shame. Not in seduction. In ritual. From her body, A soft white glow rose, foaming droplets that hovered in the air like floating stars. Her hands guided one of them toward his lips. "Drink," she whispered. "Let the bond complete." Evan hesitated. His hand shook. But the warmth was calling him, and the pain deep in his bones was still there, quiet but constant. He closed his eyes and drank. The taste was like nothing he'd known. Sweet, but not sugar. Warm, but not heat. It was like memory, like safety, like lying in a mother's arms after a long cry. And then the world vanished. His body jerked. His mind stretched open. He saw everything. Her thoughts, her grief, her hopes, her fear of being forgotten, her dream of passing on the healing gift before death. And she saw him, his guilt, his brother's death, the missions that broke him, the people he couldn't save. They weren't alone anymore. The bond wasn't physical. It was soul deep. Their breaths sensed. Their hearts beat as one. Light surrounded them, like a cocoon. Then a sharp pulse. Lyra gasped. She pulled back, shaking, her eyes wide. Evan opened his eyes. "What's wrong?" She stood quickly, staring into the ceiling vines. Her glow flickered like a candle hit by wind. "They felt it," she said. "Who?" "The ones who hunt me," she whispered. They felt the ritual. Outside, the red mist began to swirl faster. A sound echoed far away, like drums. Or engines. She looked at him, truly afraid. "They're coming." Hunters in the mist. The red mist outside the living shelter began to move. Unnaturally. It didn't swirl. It twitched. Like something massive was breathing just behind it. Evan sat up, his body still glowing faintly from the bond. The pain was gone, his cut sealed, but his heart pounded. Lyra stood frozen near the entrance of the shelter, her eyes locked on something only she could feel. "What did you mean?" Evan asked. "Who's coming?" She turned toward him, her glow dimmer now. The ritual called them. "My bond with you awakened an old link, one I never wanted to open again." Evan rose to his feet, slowly but steady. "How many?" Lyra walked to a wall and pressed her palm against it. The wall became transparent, like glass. Beyond it, 3 shadows moved in the mist. Tall, unnatural. Their shapes were wrong. Too long, too thin. And they moved without footsteps. Evan's hand found a sharp blade grown from the wall, a weapon made of bone and root. "I don't care who they are," he said. "If they come in here, they bleed." Lyra grabbed his wrist. "You don't understand. They were once like me, healers. Then the war twisted them. The enemy corrupted their minds, turned them into hunters. Now they feed on life, especially bonded life." Evan's mouth tightened. "So they're coming for us." She nodded. Suddenly, a screech. So loud, so sharp, it shattered one of the glowing vines overhead. The red mist outside turned black for a second. "They've marked us," she whispered. "They can smell the bond." The shelter began to tremble. Roots pulled back into the floor. The walls cracked. The sacred place was dying under fear. "We have to go," she said, her voice shaking. "His place is no longer safe." Evan looked around. "Where?" She pointed toward the distant hills. "There's an ancient tree, the last guardian of my people. If we reach it, it might protect us." Outside, another screech rang out, and a shape stepped into view, a tall creature. Its skin was metal and bone, stretched over a glowing core. Its mouth didn't open, but light poured from it like fire. It tilted its head, and it ran straight toward them. "Move!" Evan shouted, grabbing Lyra's hand. They ran through a side exit as the shelter collapsed behind them. The red mist chased their steps, alive now, full of whispers and screams. Evan's feet slammed into the soft ground. Vines pulled back as they passed. The forest seemed to know what hunted them. Even the trees trembled. He glanced back. The first hunter was close, only meters behind. Suddenly, Layara stopped. She turned, eyes glowing bright. "No more running," she said. Evan stared. "What are you doing?" She raised her hands and sang a strange, piercing tone that made the air shimmer. A wave of blue light exploded from her palms, throwing the hunter back into the mist, but she staggered. Blood leaked from her nose. Evan caught her. "That was only one," she said weakly. "Two more follow." "You're too weak," Evan said, holding her tight. "Don't burn yourself for me." She looked up at him, breathing hard. "I already did the moment I shared the bond." He looked ahead. In the distance, a massive black tree stood like a mountain dot. He lifted her into his arms. "Then let's finish what we started," he whispered. He ran behind him. The monsters roared again. The mist closed in, but the tree ahead it pulsed with ancient power, and maybe, just maybe, it was waiting for them. Asterisk. Surrender to the flame. The black tree rose like a mountain, its twisted branches reaching into the red sky. It wasn't just a tree. It was ancient, alive, watching. Evan stumbled toward it, still holding Layara in his arms. Her skin was dim now, cold. The bond had drained her. She had given too much. Behind them, the hunters came faster. Two shapes, now metal and shadow, hissing through the mist. The ground under Evan's feet began to change. Each step closer to the tree turned the earth from soft moss to glowing stone. Strange symbols appeared beneath his boots, pulsing faintly with every heartbeat. Layara opened her eyes barely. "We're close," she whispered. "Lay me at the roots." Evan didn't question her. He ran to the base of the tree and gently placed her down, her white hair spreading like light over the dark roots. The tree reacted. Its bark glowed blue. Its branches moved. A deep hum rose from the earth, a sound older than language, a song made of time. Evan looked back. The hunters were near, so near he could hear the clicking of their jaws. He stood between them and Layara. His hands gripped the bone blade tight. "I won't let you touch her," he growled, but the first hunter lunged. Evan swung. Mist fell. The hunter grabbed his throat, lifting him off the ground. Its glowing mouth opened. Light poured onto Evan's face. It wasn't heat, it was decay. His skin began to burn, and then Layara screamed. But it wasn't pain. It was power. The roots under her twisted. The tree's glow turned from blue to gold, then white hot. "Evan," she shouted, her voice echoing like thunder. "Surrender to me completely." Now, he didn't understand. But the bond between them pulsed, calling. Then he knew, not surrender like weakness, surrender like trust, like love, like letting go of fear. He closed his eyes. "Take everything," he whispered. "I surrender." The tree exploded in light. A shockwave burst from the roots, knocking the hunters into the air like leaves in a storm. Evan fell to the ground, the bond between him and Layara glowing like a star. From her chest, white fire spilled upward. It wrapped around Evan, lifting him, binding them together in a sphere of light. He wasn't just healed now. He was changing. His skin glowed. His body felt light. His mind opened wide. He could feel Layara's heartbeat inside his own. They had become one. The hunters shrieked and burned, trying to crawl away, but the light from the tree followed them, wrapping them in flame. One by one they fell, and then silence. The red mist cleared. The earth became still. The bond faded into quiet warmth. Evan opened his eyes. Layara was beside him, breathing, alive but pale. Drained. He crawled to her, took her hand. "You didn't have to do that," he said softly. She smiled weakly. "You let me." That was enough. He held her close as the tree above them hung gently, its branches now glowing with soft, golden light. The last of her people's power had answered the call, but the price was still to come. Asterisk, milk of the stars. The battle was over. Red mist was gone. The hunters were ash. Only silence remained, soft, sacred. The black tree now glowed with golden veins, its branches still humming with the memory of the bond. It had awakened, and it had witnessed something ancient reborn. Evan knelt beside Lyara. Her skin was pale. Her breath was thin. But her eyes were open, watching him gently. "You lived?" she whispered. He nodded, voice tight. "Because of you." She gave a faint smile, but he saw the truth behind her eyes. She was fading. The bond had taken too much. She had poured her soul into saving him, into stopping the hunters, into sharing her gift. "Don't go," he said, holding her. "Hand tight. We can find more of your kind. We can rebuild." She touched his cheek, her fingers light as air. "There are no more," she said. "Only echoes. I was the last." He shook his head. "Then don't leave me, please." She leaned closer. Her lips brushed his ear. "I won't." From her chest, a small orb of glowing white liquid formed like a star in the shape of a drop. Her milk. The final drop. The last of her life's essence. She cupped it in trembling fingers and placed it on his lips. "Drink," she said. "Let the line continue through you." Evan looked into her eyes one last time and drank. The warmth exploded inside him. But this time, it was different. He didn't just heal. He remembered. He felt her memories pour into him like a sea songs of her people, healing rituals, the laughter of children by the rivers of light, the final cries of the fallen. And her love for them all. Tears fell freely from his eyes. And she went still. Her body turned soft and weightless in his arms, like a breeze. Then it shimmered and became light. Evan gasped as the golden glow lifted into the air, rising toward the branches above. The black tree drank in her light, and in return, it bloomed. For the first time in centuries. It bloomed. White petals, glowing like stars, rained softly down from the tree, settling across the forest floor. Evan stood alone beneath the petals. He wasn't alone, not truly. He felt her heartbeat inside him still. Faint, warm. He looked at his hands. His skin now bore the same gentle glow she once carried. And inside his chest, a warmth moved, gentle, pulsing, alive. He knelt before the tree and whispered, "I carry you now. I'll protect what you left behind." The tree shivered. The forest answered with wind. And high above, in the clearing sky, a single ship approached Terran rescue. They had found his signal, but when they came, they would not find the same Evan. They would find a man reborn, healer, warrior, guardian of the last gift. The milk of the stars now lived inside him, and he would never let it die. Asterisk,